part of a new wave, not only in education, but in our workplace and in our society, because of what we have learned and experienced during the COVID-19. Now, let me suggest that because of this semester and a half on your own, you may well have gained more self-discipline and independence. And most importantly, in your awesome experience, you have built and created foundation stones. And, you know, at my age, the saying is, use it or lose it. But at your age, you're in a period of your development where you are creating and building the foundation stones which you will have for the rest of your life, and which will have such a tremendous effect on the rest of your life. Now, I would respectfully submit that because of your last 2 years at OSSM, you will have built foundation stones of self-discipline, of work, and foundation stones of academic excellence. If you carry those forward, you will be able to create a foundation stone of excellence for the rest of your lives. Now, perhaps most importantly, you have also created foundation stones of friendship. And keep building on those friendships. Looking back, this will have been a very important part of your life. Looking forward, if you will maintain those friendships, you will be so thankful and so glad that you did. Finally, never, as Will Rogers said, never forget where you are from. And you are from the Oklahoma School of Science and Mathematics, class of 2021. Godspeed and God bless them.
I take this moment to make some very special recognitions. First, I would like to ask for Mr. Rajiv Murray III to come up to the front to receive a plaque recognizing the service of those in the Oklahoma School of Science and Math Parents Association. And may I ask all the Parents Association officers to stand and be recognized at the same time, and this includes the Vice President, J.R. Clark, Secretary, Ms. Sheila Stringer, and Treasurer, Raisin Morales. So please stand to be recognized. Then may I mention to the audience that without the hard work of the Parents Association, the students' experience here at OSSM would be very different and not so enriched as it has. So they've brought a lot of love and a lot of attention to the students in a very admittedly stressful and demanding environment. There's a number of other recognitions I will make, but I won't ask anyone to come forward in the interest of time. These are all student recognitions. I should mention that we had a very lengthy 2-hour-long award ceremony on campus, which was, I believe, live streamed. I jokingly say that awards assembly would have rivaled the length of that of the Academy Awards, because we have so many academic awards. We have a few here today that we could not adequately recognize at the awards assembly because the plaque was not ready. So I'm going to ask the students to stand and be recognized as I go through the various plaques here. We ask the students at the end of the ceremony to come and pick up their plaque. So we begin with Evelyn Wilson, who's the recipient of the Bill Turpin Memorial Award for Outstanding Senior Humanities Student. Some of these awards are endowed. I think the most significant one, which we will present later, is the Rna Trollster Award. Dr. Trollster was the first faculty hire here at the Oakland School of Science and Math, and he personally drove here from North Carolina to present to us a check for $40,000 to endow his award. So a number of these awards are endowed, and so they do come with a check, so we ask the students to be patient to receive their check. So we have next the Dorothy A. Dodd Humanities Prize awarded to Anthony Tan for being the top humanities student. So that's Anthony Tan. Oh, he actually received 2 awards, and also the John Campbell Computer Science Award. So Anthony again. We have Kevin Wynn, the recipient of the Charles M. Roberts Chemistry Award in honor of the late Charles M. Roberts. We have Sean Cheng, who's the recipient of the Rna Trollster Physics Prize in honor of our first faculty member, Dr. Rna Trollster. Oguntayo, who's the recipient of the Dennis Martin Award in honor of Dennis Martin. I have Dr. Rahman, who could not be here today, asked me to have a picture taken with these special banners that just came in. And so we'll do that after the graduation ceremony. If you could meet to take the picture. The first are the members of the National Science Bowl team. And so they are the 2021 regional champions. And the Paul Cheng, Harrison Hawksby, AJ Colombi, Anthony Tan, and David Yao. Please stand to be recognized. And next we have our award-winning teams team. That's the test of aptitude and math and engineering, math plus science. They were the state champions here, and the members are Michael Dong, David Yao, Ameka Nakume, and Xinyan Zhang. And again, I should mention our students are recipients of many, many national awards. It would just take too long for me to go through all of them. You'd be here for quite a bit of time. So those are some of the awards that were endowed and have cash prizes with it that come with the plaque. So I ask the students whose names were mentioned to me after the ceremony. We'll take some pictures and present these plaques. Some impressive statistics. Our students collectively, I believe, have been awarded, we tabulated it, they've been awarded grants and scholarships totaling about $10 million, $9,764,544, and that averages to be $141,550 per graduate. So what an impressive number. And the last announcement I make is one of the most important, to acknowledge the great contribution and enormously. And she's an enormously talented administrator. She will actually be leaving to head up her own school in Pryor, Oklahoma. So the gain that they will get in Pryor will be our very sad loss. It'll be a very, very a tough position to fill. We're so grateful for her service here. That concludes my announcements and recognition.
Good morning, members of the class of 2021. My name is Justin Thomas, and I'm from Yukon, Oklahoma. It's an absolute honor to be able to speak before you all today, but before I get started, I would like to start with some thank yous. First and foremost, I would like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He's blessed me with every opportunity I've had, and I'm eternally grateful. I want to thank my parents, siblings, and church family for their constant love and support. I want to thank the OSSM faculty, staff, and all of you who came out today, and those of you watching online for pouring into our lives. And finally, I want to thank each and every one of you, my fellow classmates. Now, it's not an understatement to say that our class has had one of the most interesting and complicated journeys over the last 2 years. But I still remember standing at the basement dance way back in 2019 and thinking that this would be a boring 2 years. But as the lone survivor of former 8th grade, I'm happy to say I was wrong. But like student choice, study, and possum snacks, to the major obstacles like Saturday tests, term papers, and Coach Rossum's PE logs, we've each had our own OSSM journey. A journey that's had its fair share of joy and pain, especially while we were fighting off senioritis in this past semester. Regardless of how each of your individual experiences were, one thing is for sure, you aren't the same person that applied to this school. Individually and collectively, we've all grown. We no longer make the mistake of hitting reply all when we email, using a VPN to watch videos on your academic day. I know. But OSSM has taught us many valuable life lessons. From learning how to function without a phone every day, to realizing that the most special moments can happen from being together in the great home of 10. As I was writing the speech, I was struggling to find a specific story to tell because there have been so many moments where each and every one of you has felt like a family to me. Whether it was a that year, I've learned that at this school, you don't just have classmates, you have a second family. And to my family today, I would like to share two things: my new outlook on life and some advice for the future. Over the past 2 years, I have slowly learned and am still learning how to view everyone through the lens of love. In the past, I would always be concerned about putting my needs before everything and everyone else. It didn't matter, but standing before you today, I can truly say, it's not worth it. There's no point in pushing on to the future if you lose yourself along the way. I know each and every one of you will achieve great things. Some of you will be pushing the boundaries of medical science, some of you will break engineering barrier, and who knows, countless other achievements. But in pursuit of changing the future, don't lose sight of who you are. Don't trade your integrity and your values to shine in the spotlight or get paid for it. If you're sitting here today, you know you accomplished so much. And you don't have anything to prove to anyone. So as we're moving on to the next phase of our life, I'm sure many of us are beginning to analyze the past. We're looking at past relationships, events, and decisions that brought us to this moment. And among all the happy memories, I'm sure many of us have regrets. But I want to encourage you today to not focus on regret and let go of them. Don't look at what could have, should have, or would have happened if you had done this or that. There have been many people who have spent years regretting the choices they made, but it hasn't helped them. A good friend once quoted to me, "There are no regrets in life, only lessons." And we may not be able to change our past, but we can set the terms for our future. OSSM has shown us that we can create the path we desire if we're willing to put in the work. I know each of us will have new obstacles to overcome, some more challenging than others, but as always, we will persevere. Now, here we are. We've made it to the end of a long 2 years. In a few short moments, we're going to walk across the stage. All of the blood, sweat, and tears are about to pay off. We're not going to have to worry about missing check-in tonight, the Wi-Fi cutting out at 11 o'clock right before a big assignment. We're trying to figure out what's for lunch and dinner. Now, college won't be the same as OSSM, as there will be aspects that seem exciting, while others feel frightened. However, we were blessed to attend a school that's going to act as a stepping stone for a greater future. As we head in different directions and pathways, I know this isn't goodbye forever. It's just a really, really long, extended meeting. I look forward to seeing you all achieve your dreams and pursuing what you love. I hope each of you can find happiness and joy in life, little and big. And I want to end with this. I love you all, and you all mean so much to me. And I can't wait to see you all again. God bless.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer Lee, and I'm from Moore, Oklahoma. On behalf of the class of 2021, we would like to thank our parents, faculty, residence hall staff, and everyone in between for your constant love and support throughout the past 2 years that we have spent here at OSSM. Although our time here has been a bit untraditional, there are still many things at OSSM that stay the same. That sigh of relief after a long day of classes, the large and long study sessions for the general physics midterm, and finally, the friendships that turn into family. Take a look around. Look to your left, look to your right. Take in this moment that we all share together and reflect. Nobody expected it to go by this fast. And nobody realized that the people we were at junior year orientation would become the people sitting here today. We never thought about how one day the long nights would seem worth it, much less contemplated how quickly the time would pass. Suddenly, the moment that seemed so far away is here, and we will no longer be students, but graduates of the Oklahoma School of Science and Mathematics. Class of 2021, we have made our mark here in ways that so many classes before us will not even begin to fathom. We started off our junior year with 100 or so classmates, the largest number of students ever accepted in OSSM history. We endured power outages and snowstorms, and we managed to actually live OSSM for 2 months straight in the middle of the pandemic. Can you believe it? However, this is only the beginning of new things we are yet to accomplish. I know that when I take a look around at all my classmates before me, I can't help but think about how I'm looking into the future. I see doctors, lawyers, engineers, entrepreneurs, scientists. And I know that no matter how far we go, we'll always have the support of one another. Within the next 3 months, our lives will again change forever. Some of us are about to leave everything we've ever known to attend college out of state. Some of us have plans to make a difference here in our local community. Regardless of the goals that each of us hope to accomplish, I know that we can all agree that OSSM has taught us that if we set our minds to it, we can achieve anything. Class of 2021, welcome to the end. However, the end also means a new beginning. Be proud of what you have done and look toward the bright future ahead of you. Don't forget to take a look behind you and recognize the people that supported you along the way. Don't forget to be thankful for this reality, because there was a point when you dreamed for this to come true. Thank you to my peers for the opportunity to represent the impact that this class hopes to leave behind. It was a pleasure being your fellow classmate for the past 2 years. I'm so excited to see where everyone's path is headed next. Congratulations, everyone. We made it.
Hi, Mom. Good morning. My name is Bogan Garcia, and I'm from Carroll, Oklahoma. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Dr. Jihan Abdul-Haq. Dr. Noor Jihan Abdul-Haq is a board-certified pediatrician from Oklahoma City. Proud class of 2021 graduate from the Oklahoma School of Science and Mathematics. She graduated from Spelman College with honors with a biochemistry. Medical school and residence training were completed through the Morehouse School of Medicine when she was active in various medical organizations. She has done medical work in Barbados, Dominican Republic, and Mexico. Her awards include the Leon Town Humanism in Medicine Award, Practitioner of Excellence from Sisters United Organization, Journal Records Achievers Under 40 Award, and Outstanding Minority Owned Business. Most recently, Dr. Abdul-Haq was awarded with the Healthcare Heroes Award by the Journal Record. Dr. Abdul-Haq has been interviewed numerous times on local radio, television, and print media. Dr. Abdul-Haq opened her career practice of Minds Pediatrics in September of 2015 to serve the community that she grew up in. She'll be opening a second location in spring of 2021. She serves as a mentor for high school and college students and has assisted other physicians with starting their own practices. In September of 2020, she opened the Clara Community Health Center in Oklahoma City, which is a free clinic for the uninsured. She and her loving husband are proud partners, parents to 3 wonderful children. Dr. Abdul-Haq, would you please come and honor us by speaking on stage?
Thank you for the introduction. Yes, I'm Dr. Noor Jihan Abdul-Haq. Quick clarification, he was so excited about the class of 2021. I'm But thank you so much for that honor. Dr. Wong for the invitation to the Board of Trustees, Chair Dan Little, who has been there my entire career at OSSM, faculty, staff, parents, families, and most importantly, the class of 2021. Thank you so much for this opportunity. As I was preparing for today, I actually had to change my speech a little bit because our location and things changed as well. But in your path through OSSM has read. It goes a little bit like it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epic of belief. It was the epic of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. Don't worry, I'm not going to continue boring you with excerpts from A Tale of Two Cities, but I assume most of you have actually read this. And who knew that this would be a reflection of our realities today? So no, we may not be talking about revolutionary wars, but in reality, we thought it was the worst of times. But yet today, it's the best of times. We thought this was definitely the winter of despair, and you guys have discussed that earlier. But now we're having this spring of opportunity. And so the reason why I brought that up is because I want you to realize that you have gone through a pandemic, and yes, you're still within it, but you are surviving, you are thriving, you are graduating. So many other youth can't say that. So many families have been impacted. There have been over 500,000 Americans who passed away from COVID-19. And I'm sure many of you have been impacted, and my condolences to your families. It's only made you stronger. And I hope that you realize that what you've gone through is something that you'll never forget. Similar to how our grandparents would talk about, you are now making your mark within American history. A few other things that have occurred this year. We had senseless murders of brown and Black people, triggering protests around the world. I actually helped demonstrate, organize a demonstration at the Capitol steps for healthcare providers and others to recognize these things that are occurring in our society. We had historic elections. We also had historic protests and attacks on our nation's capital. We even had to pause and say, you know, what does democracy mean to us? What does it mean to be a civil servant, et cetera? Like, what does our Constitution even say? We all became constitutional experts this year. And if that's not enough, now we have to deal with xenophobic and racists who are attacking our Asian brothers and sisters because they feel like they brought us COVID-19. I mean, the foolishness that we discussed earlier about A Tale of Two Cities, we actually still see within America, which is very, very sad. You guys have had to digest so much of this that's outside world has brought into your lives, while also trying to maintain this and perform in this rigorous academic environment here at OSSM. I applaud you all, and I think we should all applaud them for what they've done. I guarantee you, most of us would not have been able to endure. And as you mentioned, you all started with 100 and you're finishing with 73. So you are the ones who truly put your academics first and said, I'm going to finish what I started. And you should feel very, very proud for yourselves. You've passed the tests, you've gotten accepted into colleges, you've made your families proud and your hometowns. You know, initially I was writing this because we were on the Capitol steps, so I had some things to say, et cetera, but things changed, and I know many of you were upset, and I completely understand it, but I definitely want to applaud Dr. Wong, who was calling me even yesterday frantically because he was really trying to make sure that you guys got exactly what you wanted. But 2021 is similar to 2020, it's throwing us curveballs where we have to adjust. You all have actually been thrown so many lemons that I'm assuming you're overflowing in lemonade at this point. But the important part is, what do we do when these things happen? Okay, are we taking these and saying, oh, woe is me? Are we stepping back and saying, what am I to learn from this? How do I continue? And what are the important lessons? My class actually was the first class to live on campus. That's how old I am, I guess. But this dorm was the very first building that we had. So as where you all are like, oh, we're in the gymnasium, the gymnasium. I'm like, oh, we're at the gymnasium. I remember when I did Taibo upstairs. How exciting, and Tai Chi on this floor. Not to mention the library that you all so graciously enjoy. I actually was a part of the groundbreaking ceremony with Chairman Little. We had no library. We only had a dorm and a gym in the Manning Academic Center. So as you can see, our world is ever changing and evolving, and the things that sometimes we take for granted, others see as like luxuries and dreams. So it's very important that you all remember that. So I have a few charges to you, the class of 2021. When you return to your hometowns and families, you're going to return in much, much more seasoned individuals. You've endured quite a lot. I want you first think, I feel like OSSM can still instills a lot of that in you. So don't forget, don't surround yourselves just with people that look like you or think like you, because diversity is very important, as you can see amongst yourselves. Surround yourself with people that you can debate with a little bit, of course, respectfully, because you learn these skills in Western civilization. I know I definitely did. Understand that me, as an African-American, Muslim, female pediatrician, I'm often alone. And so I look for people who are like, you know what? I'm a supporter of diversity, and I'm a supporter of looking at the little man and the minorities and helping to make sure all of our voices are heard. So that takes me to my second point. Refuse to be silent. Speak out against injustices and look out for those around you who are in the minority. It's not always about agreeing with people's lifestyles, beliefs, but simply believing that every human is deserving of equality. Don't be afraid to be the change that you want to see in the world. Thirdly, use your new skills. I know you're like, yeah, I learned this in physics, and Dr. Lee was my professor as well, mind you. He helped me become a physician, so I'm always grateful to him. You know, the skills that he taught me. But those weren't the only skills you learned. It wasn't just about book smarts. You now know how to live with perfect strangers in some of the most stressful situations and get along. You've learned how to resolve problems since you had to continuously see those people every single day. Those are definitely attributes that other students your age never actually get to encounter. Think about it, at your home high school, if you didn't get along with someone, you could just ignore it. But now they're next door. You had to learn how to figure that out, which is such a blessing for when you go on to college. So don't forget that skill that you have. Most importantly, you're learning how to deal with disappointment and find creative ways to find joy within your lives. 4, seeking to acknowledge the positives in your life daily. With so much going on, it's often very difficult. If you get a bad grade, figure out how to improve. If you don't get the dorm you like, find the people inside that make it a great place to live in. Hold on to the wonderful friendships that you have made here so that they can also help be that positivity that you can reflect on and reminisce on your good days here at OSSM. And 5th, or lastly, acknowledge your privilege. A lot of people see this as a bad term, but I always say acknowledging your privilege and give back. We've all been blessed as OSSM alums to receive a top-notch education in a state that is ranked in the bottom 10 of our country. We are truly, truly fortunate to still have professors here who have been here 25 plus years and very active in making sure that you learn exactly what you need to be successful, not only in this state, but in the world. I actually went to a speech a few years ago of an alum of this school who studies, on the surface of Mars. I had to realize that you may be that you think that there's a lot of things going on and you seldom realize like how fortunate you were to attend this school. You're smart, we get it. But it's not just about being smart, it's also about what you're going to do for others. So many of your classmates, I'm a pediatrician, so many of your classmates have been in virtual school this entire year. They didn't really learn anything. And guess what? Now they're entering college with you. So I hope that you're willing to be that tutor, that assistant, that person who someone can lean their, cry on that shoulder, because you guys were able to continue your academics, even with the little break that you had. You were able to do your chemistry labs. Imagine being in chemistry class without being able to do any labs. As a biochemist, I don't actually understand how they learned anything in that situation. So do realize that that was a privilege that you were afforded, and don't forget that. I really hope, I know many of you guys are going to school out of state, but I hope that you continue to give back to the state of Oklahoma, who has given you this wonderful opportunity. Yes, I too did leave, and if you go in the area in the Manning Academic Center, I have my spelling banner up. I think I'm the only one who's going to Spelman College. But I left and said, oh, I'm not coming back. But the more I realized this state needed me, this state needs you. So even if you go far away, it doesn't matter how long you stay away, I ask that you do come back, or at least you find ways of supporting OSSM so that we can continue to educate the top students of the state and make our mark. So, and class 2021, you should be one of prosperity and to your growth. You are like the phoenix rising ashes. So soar, dust yourself off, and continue to soar. I can't wait to see the new advancements you will make in this state, this country, and this world. Congratulations, and thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Andy Hadley and I'm from Shawnee, Oklahoma. It is my honor to introduce a special person at OSSM, Dr. Brent Richards, the Vice Academics and a Biology Professor here. Dr. Brent Richards is an OSSM alumni and graduated from OSSM in 1996. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in biochemistry from the University of Oklahoma in 2000 and received his PhD in neuroscience from Georgetown University in 2006. Dr. Richards was an intramural research fellow at the National Institute of Mental Health in Memphis, Maryland, before joining the OSSM faculty in 2008 as a professor of biology and the director of the mentorship program. In 2020, he became the vice president of the academic services. His favorite memories of being a student here are eating spaghetti in the molecular and cell biology class at Dr. Dell's house. Dr. Richards also shared with me that he loves biology because it fascinates him. He has always been intrigued by figuring things out and compares biology to a puzzle. He enjoys teaching his subject because he loves sharing that with others. We welcome Dr. Brent Richards to announce the graduates of the class of 2021.
Thank you, Andy, for your kind introduction. Thank you, speakers, for your inspiring remarks. The academic program at the Oklahoma School of Science and Mathematics is one of the most demanding in the nation. During their 2 years with us, our students not only carry a credit load that would require 3 years in many secondary schools, but they also meet the challenging courses taught at the university. Our graduation requirements include 4 semesters each of literature and history, 4 semesters of mathematics with at least 2 semesters of calculus, 3 semesters of physics, including 2 semesters of calculus-based physics, 2 semesters each of biology and chemistry, 1 semester of computer science, 2 semesters of mathematics or science electives, 4 semesters of a foreign language, 4 semesters of physical education, and 2 semesters of fine arts. Mr. Little and members of the Board of Trustees, upon the recommendation of our faculty, Dr. Long and I certify that the students assembled before you have met or will meet our graduation requirements. They are entitled to be granted at this time.
To reassure the audience that both Chairman Little and I are vaccinated. We're going to allow the students to remove their masks for the purposes of taking the picture, but then we'll put our masks back on.
Anna Wong, daughter of Chung Wong and Tsai Xiao. Jin Yang Zhang, daughter of James Zhang and Xiaoyan Zhuo. Jacob Alexander Freeman, son of David Freeman and Christina Freeman. Jeswin Shibu Thomas, son of Shibu Thomas and Reshma Thomas. Daisy Darlene Dang, daughter of Tony Dang and Christine Tran. Jennifer Lee, daughter of Rick Lee and Fung Lee. Charles Bruce Schultes, son of Jamie Schultes and Robert Schultes. Logan Garcia, Dana Garcia, and Rudy Garcia. Vina Miller, daughter of Becky Miller and Bobby Miller. Karis Stringer, daughter of Sheila Stringer and Brad Stringer. Kay Birdsong, son of Jamie Birdsong and Mark Birdsong. Ilana Roselle, daughter of Tatiana. And Chen and Jen. Daughter of Truck Lee and Ann Fan. Megan Waters, daughter of Preston Waters and Sally Waters. Gabrielle Cognizini, child of Richard Cognizini and Tim Cognizini. Kyla Reisenberg, daughter of Dorinda Reisenberg and Peter Reisenberg. Andy Patton, daughter of David Patton and Mary Patton.
Odin ride
Katie Malua Deborah Ovatayi, daughter of Matt Ovatayi and Ceci Ovatayi. Gabriella Nade Nettie, daughter of Christopher Nettie and Elizabeth Doherty. Louis Du, and Trump. Ethan Charles Beard, son of Bradley Beard and Seth Ann Lang. Catherine Baker, Dr. Kevin Lee and Karen Baker. Alyssa Barkley, daughter of Kenna Barkley and Roger Barkley. Aiden Osmond, son of Grant Osmond and Elaine Osmond. Luke Osmond, son of Grant Osmond and Elaine Osmond. Thomas Curtin, child of Donald Curtin. Harrison J. Hoxby, son of Andrea Hoxby and Alan Hoxby.
The number physics department. Sean Jones of our computer science department. Dan Boston, physical education or physical education coach. And Dr. Clint Gibbons, Department of Mathematics. And parents, all the parents present here, please stand and be recognized by your graduates. It's quite amazing that your students are still awake here because I retired about 4:30 in the morning in my office, and I think a number of students were still up. And as you know, this is the first class to experience a global pandemic and to receive instruction remotely. And they're also the first class that I'm aware of that was evacuated from the residence hall, moved to a hotel in the middle of an epic snowstorm. And often parents are told to spend time with their children as this time is fleeting. And I feel this way as your school ahead. I really wish I got a chance to know each of you better. Some of you may just remember me as a smiley Asian guy in a bow tie who brought you bowls of fruit on the weekends that cooked you fried rice. And parents may remember me as someone who posted a lot of pictures up. I figured in 20 years at our reunions, you will start salivating when you see me as part of a Pavlovian response to seeing my presence. Well, I just want to let you know that you're the reason that I'm committed to my work here at OSSM. And every graduation evening is kind of a sad one for me. I usually walk the campus in the afternoon, and I'm just, the campus is eerily quiet and devoid of activities and students, and I'll be thinking of you then. You all are an enormously talented and motivated group of individuals, and I have no doubt that you're going to succeed in whatever endeavor that you pursue. You may not be as successful as our commencement speaker, Dr. Abdul Haq, but with your OSSM education, you will undoubtedly be in a position to make a significant difference. And when you achieve that success, please do remember all those who have so fervently and earnestly invested in your education, and find ways to give back to your school, to your local community, to the state of Oklahoma, and to your country. And so with this simple message, I bid you students, the class of 2021 of the Oklahoma School of Science and Mathematics, Godspeed. Thank you.
Do I end it? Do I end it? Yeah.